Hey everyone, today we're playing a standard deck, which I don't usually do, but this deck actually really surprised me, one of the main cards being Elish Norn. We have a bunch of enter the battlefield triggers in this deck. It's pretty aggro-y. Basically, we just fill up our hand and play a bunch of things. It really surprised me how quickly it moves, but anyway, let's just get on to games. Alright, game one, and doesn't look like we can keep this hand. Does have Elish Norn, but there wasn't any early things we could play. This hand's pretty good. I'd say we just get rid of a land. We have a 1-drop, 2-drop, and 3-drop. We're probably not going to immediately play the 1-drop though, since we could miss some pretty good stuff. Next turn we'll play one of our 2-drops. Just went and chose one there. So yeah, basically, a lot of what we do in this deck is we just cycle through all our cards until we get some pretty big bombs, and then we just win basically. But we also can bombard our opponent with a bunch of different things. I feel like all the cards in this deck just simultaneously work together. There's not really a whole plan, but let's just play the 1-drop here, see if we can get anything good. Oh, that's pretty nice. Play the Spirit Elk Companion. Yeah, draw a card. Alright, and I think we can attack with our Combat Thresher because it has double strike. Opponent's not going to block. Next turn, I think, well, there's a bunch of different things we could do. Oh, well, our opponent concedes. Alright, good game. On to game 2. Game 2, and pretty good hand, honestly. We have a 2-drop and 2 3-drops, which is pretty nice. I think that this is a decent hand. Once we really get going, we'll be able to get some stuff out. We have a bit too much lands, I'd say. Let's get rid of a land. Sadly, we won't get a counter on our creature, but that's fine. We're going to be drawing a bunch of cards next turn anyway. Alright, well, looks like our opponent just wasted a removal spell. Honestly, we're pretty fine with that. Just play the Cleric here, draw a card. I think next turn we'll probably play our 4-mana guy. It'll be able to buff our Angel, and we'll be able to get some value out of it. You know, pretty good stuff altogether. And then, since our opponent doesn't have any flying, they're going to have to take it. And we'll be able to do that, probably around every single turn, which is good. But also, if our opponent plays anything too scary, we'll be able to borrow time it. Visions of Phyrexia, that's not a bad card. Not going to really help our opponents too much out until next turn, when they'll be able to sacrifice their Power Stones. I think right here we play the Shivan Devastator. It'll get in a bunch of damage, and we'll be able to buff our other Angel, and we'll just in total get a bunch of damage in. Oh, and concede. Alright, good game. On to game 3, I guess. Game 3, and pretty good hand. We have a 3-drop, which is sad. I wouldn't have kept this hand if we weren't going first. But since our opponent doesn't have a 1-drop, I think we're fine. 2-drop, fine with me. Alright, looks like our opponent's playing a Toxic deck. Not really sure how that's going to play out with this kind of deck, but I'm interested. Okay, looks like they're just playing mono green. Weird colors for Toxic. I'm fine with the trade right here, unless our opponent has any responses. Yep. Alright, that's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. We are going to be taking some poison. Hopefully that doesn't add up too quickly. But right here, let's play the Combat Thresher. It'll be able to kill that creature unless our opponent has any other buff spells. Hopefully not. Haven't really seen our opponents do too much interesting things with their deck yet. Still not very sure what it's supposed to be doing. Fine with trading here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have another... oh, yep. Alright, that's a bit annoying. And we're going to be taking a decent amount of damage. But, I think we can still win this. You know, as long as we don't take any more toxic. And since we just got Elish Norn out, we'll be able to get, like, a bunch more value with our things. And hopefully our opponent doesn't have anything. Nope. So, it's looking pretty good for us right now. We're going to be able to get a bunch of triggers. We're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards. Gain some life as well. And turn or two, we'll be able to buff a bunch of our stuff. And really get going. Alright, it's looking pretty good for us right now. Next turn, we could probably play the Falaji Vanguard. Because once we get that out, it's going to have a bunch of triggers from Elish Norn. And a bunch of other stuff like that. So we're just going to be able to swing in for a bunch of damage. Alright. Opponent plays another creature. Okay, so play a mountain. And let's actually just play in a Sanctuary Warden here. It'll be able to get us 2 triggers. And we're going to be able to get a bunch of little guys from it. Wait. Never mind. We should have played the Falaji Vanguard first. Because then we would have been able to buff our creatures like an insane amount and probably won. But too late now. We'll get it out next turn and we'll still be able to get a bunch of triggers. Doesn't look like our opponent is doing anything too interesting right now. But once that Boseiju flips, it might become a bit of a problem. Okay, yeah, so they're playing our opponent's playing a toxic deck. I haven't really seen any rares. So maybe it's like a, not really Pauper, but kind of thing like that. Let's just play let's play the Shivan Devastator. You know, I think that we don't really need to get the Falaji Vanguard out right now. Because in a couple of turns we can just win with the Shivan Devastator. Falaji Vanguard might have been too much of a long game kind of thing. Let's try to just kill our opponent as quickly as possible. Alright, and we got rid of our opponent's Reacher, so we're not going to be able to kill our opponent's next turn. Well, maybe we will actually. Yeah, if we play Falaji Vanguard next turn, we'll be able to kill our pretty quickly. Yeah, and that's not going to save our opponents from anything. I think we win next turn. Alright. Just play Mountain here, Falaji Vanguard, and then we're going to play Resolute Reinforcements. Just going to buff our Shivan Devastator a bunch. Alright, on to game 4. Game 4, and that was a pretty good hand right there. We don't have a turn 1, but we have a tap land on turn 1. And then we can play into Resolute, and then probably the Angelic Observer. Pretty good hand overall. And I think we're going to get off to a pretty nice start. Alright. Good thing our opponent didn't have a turn 1 play. Play the Reinforcements. Pass. Next turn we'll probably play the Angelic Observer, in case we draw anything. Another Shivan Devastator, that's not too bad. Just play the Observer for now. Draw a card. I think we're getting pretty good draws so far. And it's fine if we get extra lands, because then we'll just be able to play our Shivan Devastator for pretty big. Dang, our opponent scoops that quick. Alright. Alright, game 5. We can't keep this. It was a really great hand, a really great curve, but not the right mana. Keep this hand, just get rid of a Resolute Reinforcements because we already have one. Pretty good hand. We have a 1-drop, well, not a 1-drop, but we have a 2-drop, 3-drop, and 4-drop. And there's our maybe 5-drop right there with the Shivan Devastator. Just need to draw some more lands. Alright, looks like our opponent's going to play Whisper of the Dross. Kind of a waste of a card right there. Our opponent also doesn't have anything to proliferate. Oh, wow. I'm completely fine with our opponent killing both of our creatures because, you know, they weren't going to do too much anyway, and they wasted a bunch of cards, so fine by me. Gonna play Combat Thresher there, draw a card. Next turn we're probably gonna play, if we play the Philogy Vanguard, we'll be able to hit in for a bunch of damage, but I'm not really interested in that too much right now. We'll just play the Observer, because with the Observer we'll be able to draw a card, because I'm just fine with trading right here. Don't really need the Philogy Vanguard if our opponent's going to trade anyway. Pass the turn. Next turn, I think we might play the Experimental Synthesizer. Well, there's a decent amount of different things we can do. Oh, Skrell's Hive from our opponent. That's a pretty good card. Let's just play the Philogy Vanguard here. Buff our Observer. Next turn, I think we could just play the Shivan Devastator, because with the Shivan Devastator, we'll also be able to buff our Angel. Alright, see what they're going to target. Understandable. Philogy Vanguard was probably the scariest. I think we can play the Mirror Breaker here. It'll help us produce some more mana, and then eventually we can start playing our Shivan Devastator for a break price. That Skrell's Hive might become a problem at some point. It's a really good card. I think that all we can hope for here is to get some triggers off of the Mirror Breaker and then get out our Shivan Devastator for a decent amount. Alright, never mind then. Looks like our opponent has a decent amount of removal spells on this deck. Or at least... No, yeah, like way too much removal spells in my opinion. But fine by me because our opponent's going to be wasting a decent amount of things. Let's just discard the Synthesizer and the Peacekeeper. We don't really need either of them. And we got a land, which is pretty good for right now. We'll play the Shivan Devastator. You know, we can win in a turn or two. Honestly, I'm just going to go for it. Our opponent may have a lot of removal, but might have used it all. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so our opponent is going to be able to get some poison in on us. I don't think that'll matter because we'll be able to play Inspiring Overseer. So I don't think we can win this turn, but we can definitely get close. Let's play Mountain. I think we can play Bitter Reunion here, giving our creatures haste. Oh my god, I just realized an amazing combo. So we give our creatures haste with Bitter Reunion, so that we can immediately activate the Mirror Breaker to copy Angelic Overseer and give it haste, so we draw a card and we swing with all. So we're not gonna lose yet. I mean, our opponent's not gonna lose yet, but they're definitely gonna get really close to losing, and next turn we'll definitely win, unless our opponent has some sort of crazy buff spell for all the creatures. Nope. Oh, well, wait, they conceded. Wait, our opponent could have gained life with the little creatures. I mean, alright, good game, I guess. That's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.